Gilles Raymond est mon ami depuis 30 ans. Il a trouvé en Indonésie un espace de parole et d'engagement qui force mon admiration. Il est soudé à ces familles de paysans qui mènent la bataille de leur vie. Une bataille pour vaincre la pauvreté. À une époque où le développement international est questionné de toutes parts, j'ai voulu suivre cette quête d'autonomie qui se mène à hauteur d'homme.
Quand Gilles a commencé à travailler ici, j'ai pensé que c'était un fou du Canada qui nous arrivait. Et ce que Gilles a fait est une grosse critique par rapport à l'Église catholique et au gouvernement. Le vrai changement doit être fait par le peuple et contrôlé par le peuple.
Vous savez, on n'est pas une ONG. On n'a pas une équipe de professionnels ou de gens qui viennent de l'extérieur pour un an et après ça, ils s'en vont. Je veux dire, il faut que ça se développe avec les ressources de nos leaders locaux.
Gilles Raymond, qui est de passage au Québec pour combien de temps?
Ben, je repars dans 2 semaines. Là.
Et vous retournez en Indonésie?
Voilà.
Où vous vivez depuis?
Depuis 12 ans.
Depuis 12 ans.
On écoutait l'émission de Catherine Perrin. J'entends un gars qui parle, qui explique son truc sur l'Indonésie, puis j'étais vraiment captivée. Puis là, je me disais, ben, qu'est-ce que je peux faire pour l'aider? C'est incroyable.
C'est un hasard si moi je suis né ici, et c'est un hasard si eux sont nés là-bas. Alors, tout ça pour dire qu'on est de la même vie. Et ce faisant, je me dis que quand la vie a mal à quelque part, je ne peux pas être indifférent.
Özüm tanıyan mär Rafimin galmy damatdan dolupdy. Ay berde sürüp alar hoşuma gidiyor ya hayrat.
Ey bar Hudaya senden dileyendir. Şol atın önküsü yalak evvel ya doğum ya soğuk. Şuan iş işlerden.
Ne olur? Pide var yani sever. O kahraman olmasa biz bir kozaydan ellenmeliyiz. Şumatkam sıkıştı. O kafene yettiğim atkede ahırına den saklamalıyım.
Ben ayıttığımda telefonda kat ederim, yolumda kat ederim. Oruçmanı yaltan yani?
Kursiyani kumar. Kumarsız çapı da yok.
Harcın oynadı skor geliyordu da oynadı anam. Bayat gelmiyordu oynaman. Sen nagat bir işaret.
Tahir'den olan adam caydan usfera vermemende razı Tahir atacaksa.
Komite fenni çıktın gitme.
Hava çıktın gitme.
Men faqat geçen günler yadıma sürsek böyle. İlham bana başka orada attı. Onu dariyemde meni bulutlara getiriyetti.
O etmeseyini çekense rahmetlerini işte alıp gidip ne etmeseyini.
Dedim o kurran göreni bu kurra beter bet sapkın derdini yaramayadıydı.
We all feel better when we are around trees, when we are walking through a forest. Trees have lived for a very, very long period of time. Trees are the secret of our existence because they rule the land, the sea, and the air. Now it's our chance to discover the forgotten wisdom of trees.
Well, they paved my road when I was 7 or 8 years old. We rode that school bus that first day, and I came home, and that was the first time I'd ever looked at my own situation and was like, oh, fuck, I'm poor. In 2014, we planted hemp seeds on our farm, and we embarked on a journey into uncharted waters. It is no secret that America needs more farmers, but we need the tools to be successful. And industrial hemp is a cornerstone for financial and resource stability on the family farm. We took simple seeds and we turned them into this flag that represents the strength and the ingenuity of the American farmer. I can only imagine what wonders we will see when every American farmer has the opportunity to grow this amazing crop.
Working and shooting with microscope lenses turns a traditional photography process upside down.
I think it will make people think, because when you see these images, the first thing that you think is, why do they have these incredibly complex and beautiful shapes and patterns and structures?
So to see the actual specimens themselves and then their photograph at that size, hopefully will be a unique experience.
What's so unique about this area is that we just really have such vast backcountry in all directions.
The quiet lake, you can take a canoe or a boat and go up and listen to 18 loons singing back and forth on Upper Braswell Lake. I was just talking with a guest in the lobby What they tell me is that they like it because it's timberland, but it's still wild. There's no development.
Our livelihood is a forest, and our recreation is a forest. There's a bond between us that work out here in the woods. My family has lived in the area my entire life.
I was brought up in the area, camping, vacationing, and fell in love with the area. I decided to move up here and try to make it up here. We are the last restaurant that's on the paved road before you get into the network of roads in the private forest.
I knew that the area was wonderful and just diverse and had all kinds of wonderful outdoor opportunities, but it's had far more than I even expected. It's the largest undeveloped area remaining east of the Mississippi, and if you look at a satellite photo of the eastern U.S. at night, you see a huge dark spot, and that's the Maine woods, and I think it's very important to keep this area dark at night.
When the Plum Creek Timber Company bought 900,000 acres in Maine in 1998, no one thought much would change. But a year later, something unexpected happened. Plum Creek Timber became the Plum Creek Real Estate Investment Trust.
Thousands of houses, hundreds of hotel rooms and condos, golf courses, a conference center, a spa, an ice rink, it goes on and on.
All the way bottled water. All the way bottled water.
Flint drinking water crisis is a national scandal, and it cries out for accountability from those that are responsible.
This sediment, this nasty brown stuff, the same stuff that was in the baby bottles, was all around my drain. We've carried them to each protest, to each council meeting, congressional meetings. I'll be carrying them again in Washington next week.
EPA and other agencies caused a similar lead and water crisis in Washington, D.C. from 2001 to 2004 that actually was 20 to 30 times worse in terms of the health harm to children in Washington, D.C. And they completely covered that up for 6 years. I was not surprised when Flint occurred. I was expecting a Flint to occur.
We just can't sustain this kind of level of sea level rise without a plan. We need a plan.
What we need in this fight are citizens who will stand up and speak up and compel us to do what this moment demands.
You want to be magnanimous and hand a nice future to your children and grandchildren, or do you want to make maximum profit now and build up the beach and let the rest, everyone else, fall off the edge of the earth or the edge of the water?
Doesn't do any good to look at past events thinking that we're going to learn something from it, because we haven't. We haven't learned anything.
We're in a serious, disastrous situation here.
All I needed was a little faith now. And don't you think
Imagine America without New York City. Imagine America without Miami, without San Diego or parts of San Francisco. There'll be water on the White House steps at some point. I mean, this is what we're looking at. And imagine a country that didn't look at this problem and do something about it ahead of time.
Sea level rise is happening everywhere at the same time.
En fait, c'est juste une année, un point de départ.
When you make a decision and nothing happens, you're safe. If you make a decision and a bad thing happens, that's the end of your career.
We're not in the business of generating lies. We're in the business of trying to understand how things work.
I'm not ignoring sea level rise, but the impacts of storms, that to me is an area that we really need to invest a lot of time and effort on.
You need to plan for the sea level rise before it actually becomes the wolf at your door.
This is a time when we need to respond to sea level rise. We should be doing it right now.
Jamaica Bay. It's a place you've probably never heard of. For more than a century, it's where New Yorkers put the things they didn't want. But make no mistake, Jamaica Bay is alive.
This is an urban park. This ain't the Grand Canyon where you don't touch this, you can't walk on that and stuff like that.
You would never know you're in a city of 8 million people. If you jump in a kayak and you paddle out, it's like another world.
The bay has a lot of issues, seriously impacted by development over the last 100 years. We have a major airport that filled in 4,500 acres of salt marsh.
Sea level is indeed rising. I'm going to have a for sale sign on my house within the next 2 years because otherwise, I'm going to be inundated here.
When you have so many people living right along the coast now, it is a recipe for disaster.
People come down and they sit and they look out the window and say, wow, what a beautiful view, and oh, this is great. But I always say you pay your dues, and you don't get nothing for nothing in this world.
It's like gone, everything's gone. Real disaster, massive issues, all over.
The only way to preserve nature is to not degrade Jamaica Bay, but to start protecting her.
1, 2.
Can the bay be saved is the big question. It's going to take a massive effort.
I set out to make a movie because I believed that if people knew what was going on, they'd do something about it.
We're bringing on a mass extinction in the oceans, and that's something that will change everything on our planet, far more important than climate or food or anything like that.
The basic chemistry of our ocean is changing faster than it has ever changed in the history of the planet.
Plankton is absolutely essential for all life on the planet. And we may be losing, and some say up to 1% a year because of ocean acidification. And it's like, why would we do anything to disrupt the oxygen supply for the planet?
The world needs to change, and it needs to change fast.
The idea that fish are commodities, there's a disconnect.
And there will not be any fish by 2048 if we continue to do what we're doing right now. It is ecological insanity.
Without the world's fish, we don't have functioning ecosystems. Without a functioning ocean ecosystem, we don't have a functioning atmosphere. And without a functioning atmosphere, we are all literally dead. And without the oceans, we literally will die.
Big changes do happen all the time, and they don't happen because governments decide the right things. They happen because people create that change through passion and having a voice.
We want freedom, freedom. Oil, gas, and coal, we don't need them.
We have to act because it's about our future. We will be the ones that will be suffering from what the governments are not doing today. It's not future generations, but it's us right now.
We have to evolve. We have to change our own movements if we're going to change the world. Because I don't think this is working anymore.
We need, as a society, to imagine a world that's beautiful enough for us to fight for. You know, what would this world look like if we designed it to be beautiful for us and all species? What if we got this right?
We have an opportunity right now to rise to the challenge and tackle the biggest problem the world has ever faced.
That would be the only thing that would make us species worthy of being on this planet, if we could actually turn stuff around and use our power for good instead of just evil.
Counting down the days, my love, counting down the days.
This is a shout out from Roanoke, Virginia. Recognize that the love in your heart is what will take you through. We shall overcome.
If you see any black man out here in the street hustling, he has probably been locked up before.
We've gotten word that the prison will be reopening, so there will be jobs coming back. I would love to see that happen.
It's recession-proof. You close a factory down and you ship the jobs overseas. You can't do that to a federal prison.
People are surprised to see us out fighting fires. I think of myself as a hero, and sometimes I can tell that the public does too.
Right now, we service 62 prisons in New York State alone. Probably the thing that I'm most proud of is bringing music back to the prison system.
Can't stop! Won't stop! Won't stop!
If you don't have no money to give, they finna lock you up.
The ticket stated that the trash can lid was not secured to the can. And I just started crying right there. Well, you gotta pay the ticket or you're going to jail. I said, I guess I'm going to jail.
Longtime residents might testify to the fact that water on the street probably only occurred during a big storm 50 years ago, but now is occurring several times a year with sunny day conditions. That is sea level rise.
It concerned me because, you know, one flood can be really devastating. And why would you have to wait to go through more than one flood to get help? That didn't make sense to me.
If you can put your house on stilts and you can afford the insurance, you're not the person investing in your roads or your sewer system or your infrastructure. That's a city decision and a municipal bond decision, and I think those decisions will change.
Things are so much worse than we ever could have predicted when we first started looking at this issue 30 years ago. I mean, the rate of change is just astounding.
When water starts rolling, you can't stop it. So you might as well face it.
Said, oh, so you're here lobbying Democrats? And I said, no, we're here lobbying everyone because this is, again, an issue that affects everyone, so the solution should be something that's worked on by everyone.
I had heard of a sea nomadic community, the Bajau, who built homes on top of the water. I wanted to know what the ocean was saying, to hear its invisible voice. Thus began the journey that took me the farthest away from my home, off the coast of the Wakatobi Islands in Indonesia.
El medio ambiente también se ve afectado por diferentes, por así decirlo, no sé, bacterias que lo afectan. Entonces, en este caso, las bacterias, por ejemplo, seríamos nosotros mismos, los seres humanos.
El problema del río es mucha contaminación, los peces no entran en las entrañas del río, no entran, por tanto además no se pueden reproducir.
Una de las tareas fundamentales de este proyecto, que es limpiar toda la comunidad, fundamentalmente la zona costera.
Porque está embullada con la playa, querer limpiar la playa, querer limpiar el puerto. Es un proyecto muy bueno.
Este proyecto pienso que estoy segura que funcionará porque en estos momentos está habiendo un cambio.
Hay un palo ahí adelante. Ahí adelante hay un palo, por eso te estoy diciendo que lo vas a trabajar. Vamos a arreglar a fondo, no ha habido.
Claro que
El medio ambiente también se ve afectado por diferentes, por así decirlo, no sé, bacterias que lo afectan. Entonces, en este caso, las bacterias, por ejemplo, seríamos nosotros mismos, los seres humanos.
El problema del río es mucha contaminación, los peces no entran en las entrañas del río, no entran, por tanto además no se pueden reproducir.
Una de las tareas fundamentales de este proyecto, que es limpiar toda la comunidad, fundamentalmente la zona costera.
Porque está embullada con la playa, querer limpiar la playa, querer limpiar el puerto. Es un proyecto muy bueno.
Este proyecto pienso que estoy segura que funcionará porque en estos momentos está habiendo un cambio.
Hay un palo ahí adelante. Ahí adelante hay un palo, por eso te estoy diciendo que lo vas a trabajar. Vamos a arreglar a fondo, no ha habido.
Claro que
In the food business, there's tremendous amount of misinformation. I mean, if you want to feed your family healthy food, you got to ask a lot of questions.
One of the downsides of the faster, cheaper model is that oftentimes you just can't afford to do everything as right as you should.
We're taking the nutrients from this soil and we're shipping it far away, and it's not going to come back.
When people, land, and community are as one, all prosper. When regarded as competing, all suffer.
In the Midwest, you're losing topsoil every year. Regenerative agriculture actually builds topsoil. Revolutions start from the bottom. They never start from the top. The bottom are these people who are willing to break the paradigm. Putting this small group together, all believing in the same thing, all going in one direction. You can't believe what we could accomplish with that.
दुनिया में किसी भी साइंटिस्ट से पूछ लें कि जितनी भी जगह जो आज जितनी खूबसूरत है ना, 20, 30, 40 साल बाद ये इस तरह नहीं रहेंगी। तो इसको बचाएगा कौन? तुम्हें क्या लगता है कौन बचाएगा? I think maximum another 200 to 300 meters to go.